Let's start lying down. Any comfortable position for you. I did forget to mention, I'm making this class 75 minutes. Is there anybody, now that you're all lying down, let's put it this way. If you can't stay the whole 75 minutes, feel free to leave early. Okay. Okay. So let's begin. Let's start with the breath today. So just checking in and noticing what your breath is like this morning. Noticing the quality of your breath. Noticing the length of your inhales and the length of your exhales. So there's no need to judge or change anything. We're just checking in. And perhaps checking in with your body, seeing if there's anything going on in your body, something that needs your attention this morning. And during our class today, perhaps you can pay special attention to that part of your body that's calling out for your attention by sending breath to that part of you. So I invite you to take a deep inhale in through your nose into your diaphragm, and then a long, slow exhale out. Maybe opening your mouth as you exhale. So again, deep inhale and let it all out. One more time, deep inhale and let it out. So continue to take deep inhales here, long, slow exhales. And as you inhale, imagine sending your breath to whatever part of you is calling out for your attention this morning, and sending any kind of energy that that part of you needs. Maybe it's softening, maybe it's love. Notice if anything starts to shift or change. And it may not. That's okay, just notice. With every exhale, maybe you release and soften your body just a little bit more into the earth. Releasing any tension and releasing anything that you don't need during our class together today. All right, so our first class of the year, perhaps we can set an intention for our class. How would you like your first class to be? What would you like to feel in your body? What would you like to perhaps happen in your mind? How would you like to show up to practice today? Setting an intention for how you would like to move through your practice. And who knows, maybe at the end of practice, you'll take that with you and decide that's how you would like to move through your day. Okay, finding 2 more rounds of breath. Then finding small movements in your fingers and toes. Rolling around wrists and ankles. Perhaps you take a big stretch. All right, and let's hug both knees in towards the chest. Making any movements that feels good for you here in your body. So maybe since one of the common themes this morning for check-in was tired, lack of sleep, we'll start nice and slow here. All right, so let's start by hugging the right knee in towards the chest, activating the right foot. Left foot comes to the earth either with a bent knee, or perhaps you extend your left leg long on the earth. And notice what feels good here on the right side. Maybe you send the knee more towards the chest, or maybe you send it more towards the armpit. So let's find one more round of breath. And then releasing the right foot to the earth. And hugging the left knee in towards the chest, activating the left foot. Perhaps the right leg comes long on the earth. Send the knee where it feels the best. Finding one more round of breath here on this side. And then releasing the left foot to the earth. Okay, let's come into a happy baby. Both feet come up towards the sky, knees come out towards the side. Both feet are active and grabbing a hold of either the backs of the thighs, lower leg, maybe the feet somewhere. and find whatever movements feels good for you here today. And perhaps while you're here, take a moment to check in with your shoulders. Notice if you're holding tension, your jaw, around your eyes. Relax and soften those areas. All right, let's find a half happy baby. So keeping a hold of the right side, left foot comes to the earth, or perhaps you extend the left leg long. Softening the right shoulder. Where do you need to send your breath? What kind of energy do you need to send to yourself? Allowing energy to move through you on your inhale and allowing it to move back out on your exhale. Let's find one more round of breath here. And then making your way back into your full happy baby. And then releasing the right side. Foot to the earth, or maybe leg is long. With every exhale, softening and releasing down into the earth a little bit more. Finding one more round of breath. And then gently releasing your foot to the earth. Let's find a big long stretch here. So hands come behind you, fingernails to the earth, legs come nice and long, pushing the backs of your thighs down towards the earth. And then exhale, soften. Let out a big sigh if you need to. If that feels good, we'll do that 2 more times. So extending nice and long, pushing the backs of the thighs down towards the earth. There's a name for this pose, I forget what it is. And exhale, release. Last one. Extend nice and long. And exhale, release. And in your own time, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then slowly making your way up to seated, any comfortable seated position for you. Okay. Let's find some torso circles here. So maybe making big circles or little circles in your body, whatever feels good for you. And take your time. There's no rush. And then going in the opposite direction if you haven't already. All right, so coming back to center, We'll find some shoulder rolls. On your inhale, rolling your shoulders up towards your ears, and on your exhale, rolling your shoulders back and down your spine. And just moving with your own breath. So one more time. Wonderful. And then let's make our way into a tabletop pose. So in your tabletop, wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. And finding some cat-cow here. Rounding your spine, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone, push your body away from the earth. And then moving in the opposite direction, tailbone points up towards the sky, shoulders roll back and down the spine. And just continue moving here at your own pace. See where it's more comfortable to inhale and where it's more comfortable to exhale. So one more time in each direction. And then coming back to your tabletop pose. And let's find a child's pose. So any variation that feels good for you here. Hips come back. Maybe arms are long, maybe arms are behind you. And connect to your breath. So I think our card that resonated the most today was universal love. Love and kindness flow to you from all directions. Know you are worthy. Be open to receive. Finding one more round of breath. And then making your way back into your tabletop pose. Okay, so remember, if you need to come out of any pose at any point, feel free to come out, come into any resting pose that feels comfortable for you. If your knees start to feel this being on the earth, maybe you grab a hold of a blanket and place it underneath your knees for a little extra support. Okay, so we have balancing cat today. We're going to start by extending the right leg long, toes point down towards the earth. So drawing the navel in towards your spine, imagine perhaps that there's a string pulling your navel up towards the sky. And trying to maybe push your body away from the earth, grip your fingers into the earth. So perhaps you stay here, or maybe the left arm comes long by your ear and find your balance. Reach the right leg nice and long, left arm, rolling that shoulder back and down your spine. You don't have to make that noise. All right. Looking down at the earth. So you have a nice long line in your spine and in your neck. Let's find 3 more rounds of breath. And then once those 3 rounds are complete for you, coming back into your tabletop pose. And let's find balancing cat on the other side. Left leg comes long, activating the left foot, toes point down towards the earth. Pushing your body away from the earth. Draw the navel in. Perhaps the right hand reaches towards the front of the mat. Rolling the right shoulder back and down your spine. All right. Did you set an intention for class today? If you did, perhaps returning to your intention, or perhaps having the intention to treat yourself with compassion and love. Let's do 3 more rounds of breath. And then coming back into your tabletop pose. We'll come into child's pose one more time. This time, arms come nice and long. And then walking your hands over towards the right side of your mat, keeping your hips where they are. Allowing your hands to move through center and over to the other side. Slowly making your way back to center and then coming into tabletop. Okay, so let's bring the right foot back, allowing the right foot to come parallel to the short edge of the mat. Making sure the left wrist is underneath the left shoulder, and then allowing your right hand to reach up towards the sky. Perhaps that right hand reaches towards the front of the mat, rolling the right shoulder back and down the spine. So one of our poses today is side angle. Here's a variation. Perhaps you find a little bit of balance here, maybe, by extending the right leg long. Right, placing the left foot on the or right foot on the earth. Right hand comes to the earth. Let's come into tabletop. And we're going to find that on the other side. Left leg comes long. Foot's parallel to the short edge of the mat. Right wrist is underneath your right shoulder. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. And then perhaps towards the short edge of the mat. Shoulder rolls back and down your spine. And trying not to collapse in on that right arm. Draw your navel in. Perhaps the left leg comes long behind you. Isn't it amazing when we go slow and we concentrate and really pay attention to what we're doing that it becomes more difficult? Challenging, I guess is the word I should say. Okay, left foot to the earth, left hand to the earth. Let's come into our tabletop. One more child's pose. Connecting to your breath. Connecting to your intention, or maybe sending your breath wherever it needs to go. Okay, let's make our way into a tabletop pose. Okay, and curling your toes under, sending your hips up and back behind you, downward dog. Shoulders roll back and down your spine, gripping your fingers into the earth. And we want the inside of the elbows to be looking at each other. And as much of a bend in your knees as you need here. Sending the hips back. All right. So however you need to get there, making your way towards the front of your mat into a forward fold. Releasing any tension you feel in your neck, in your shoulders, allow your arms to dangle. All right, on your next inhale, let's come into halfway lift. Hands come to shins or thighs. Flat back, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Draw the navel in. See if you can find equal balance in the four corners of your feet here. And exhale, forward fold. All right, we're going to take a big step back here with the right foot. Lowering the right knee to the earth. Squeeze your inner thighs as you rise. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. So we're going to find a little bit of some movement here. Shoulders, already said that, roll back and down your spine. Here we were talking about being tired this morning. Yeah. Rolling the left hip back, right hip forward. Okay, so our movement we'll find here is left hand comes down towards the side and reaching over towards the left side with the right hand. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, right hand comes to the earth under the right shoulder. Find length in your spine as you turn to the left. Left hand reaches up towards the sky. Okay, left hand comes down to the inside of the left foot, walking the foot over towards the left side of your mat. So if you need a block or a folded blanket underneath your left hand to bring the floor up closer to you, you certainly can. Left hand's on the inside of the left foot, right hand reaches up towards the sky. Right hand comes down towards the earth. All right, a little movement here. So we're going to activate the left foot. Perhaps you turn the toes of your left foot out towards the left side and then walking your hands over towards that front right corner of your mat. Maybe it comes off. Exhale to sink down. Allow your heart to melt down towards the earth. On your next inhale, slowly walking your hands back towards center. Let's come into tabletop and into downward dog. Okay, walking your feet up towards the front of your mat or getting there however you need to, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. So we'll take a big step back with the left foot, lowering the left knee to the earth. Squeezing your inner thighs together as you rise. Let's see if I can remember all that on this side. Right hip rolls back, left hip rolls forward. Okay, so right hand comes down by your side, reaching over towards the right side with the left hand. You may feel a bit of a stretch here along the front of the left hip, maybe into the left thigh. Inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, left hand comes down to the earth under the left shoulder. Find length in your spine as you turn. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. So keeping that front foot active, squeeze your inner thighs. Okay, right hand comes to the inside of the right foot as you walk the right foot over to the right side. Okay, right hand comes underneath the right shoulder, left hand reaches up towards the sky. Left hand returns to the earth. And then turning your toes of your right foot out towards the right side and walking your hands over towards the top left corner of your mat. Maybe it comes off. And then on your exhale, see if you can melt your heart down towards the earth. Slowly walking your hands back to center. All right, come into your tabletop pose. And then let's come on to the front body. So shifting your weight forward, tuck your elbows in, lowering to the earth. Baby cobra, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Tops of your feet push into the earth. Gently lifting your heart. Tucking your elbows in by your sides. And perhaps even notice if maybe you're putting weight into your hands. Bringing your hands up off the earth. All right, one more round of breath. And then releasing to the earth. Either reverse push-up or tabletop. Downward dog. Making your way towards the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. We're going to take a big step back here with the right foot, allowing it to come parallel to the back of the mat. Front heel intersects with the middle of the back foot. Windmilling your arms up, warrior two. So we want to check to make sure that the front knee is over the ankle and in line with the second or third toe. We don't want it to cave in. Squaring your hips towards the long edge of the mat. Okay, our side angle. So left forearm comes to the left thigh. We'll start here to begin. Right arm reaches up towards the sky and then over towards the front of the mat. Still bending into the left knee. That right shoulder rolls back and down your spine. And trying not to collapse in on this left arm. So we're going to try something a little different here today. We're going to take this right hand and bring it underneath the left, where the left side of the rib cage is, to help you roll open. So using the hand to assist you to roll open. And then that right hand reaches up and over once again. Notice if you feel lengthening here from the tips of your fingers all the way down to the pinky toe side of your right foot. All right, if you want a little bit of a challenge, maybe this left hand reaches towards the front of the mat as well. Whew. Draw the belly button in, using the core. And then windmilling your arms back, warrior two. Hands come down to frame the front foot. Let's drop the right knee down towards the earth. So we're going to come into a horizon lunge here. I'm going to turn around. So in our horizon lunge, we're going to bring our left foot over towards the left side. Okay, so toes point out towards the left. Okay, so maybe you stay here with your right knee on the earth, or maybe you pick the right foot or right knee up off the earth and then flip over to the baby toe side of the right foot. So all of us, right wrist is under the right shoulder. Gonna reach the left arm up and then back. So again, knee can be on the earth, or maybe you're up on the pinky toe side. So our horizon lunge, feel free if you're up on your foot to allow the right hip to come down towards the earth. Feel a bit of a stretch here along the right hip. Okay, left hand comes back to the front of your mat, right knee to the earth. Let's come into tabletop. Shifting your weight forward. Tuck the elbows, come all the way down to the earth. All right. So baby cobra, sphinx pose, full cobra, whatever feels right for you in your body. Tuck your elbows in by your sides. Shoulders roll away from your ears. And then lowering to the earth. Reverse push-up or tabletop downward dog. Allowing your feet to come towards the front of the mat, forward fold. On your next inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Let's take a big step back with the left foot. Coming parallel to the short edge of the mat, right foot intersects with the middle of the left foot. Windmilling your arms up, warrior two. Squaring your hips to the long edge of the mat. Check your front knee. And then side angle. Right forearm comes to your right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over towards the front of the room. Perhaps taking your left hand underneath to the right side of your rib cage, roll the rib cage open. And again, reach towards the front of your mat. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you extend both arms towards the front of the mat. Windmilling your arms back to warrior two. Hands windmill down towards the front of the mat. Come up on the back toes and then lower the left knee to the earth. So horizon lunge on this side, walking your right foot over towards the side. Maybe you stay on your knee, or maybe you come to the pinky toe side of the left foot. Right arm reaches up and back behind you. Maybe you stay here, maybe you allow the left hip to drop down in the direction of the earth. All right. Right hand comes to the earth, dropping the left knee down. Come into tabletop. Shift your weight forward. Tuck the elbows, come all the way down to the earth. Okay, we're going to come into a locust pose here. So arms are going to come back by your sides, palms face down. You're going to look right down at the earth. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. And only go as far as you feel comfortable in this pose. So we'll start pushing the tops of the feet down. Lift your shoulders. Perhaps you lift your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Maybe you stay here, maybe you point your toes, squeeze your inner thighs, lift your feet. Find your breath. Connect to your intention. One more round of breath here. And then exhale, lower. So bending both knees and windshield wipering your feet from side to side. All right, let's make our way back into our tabletop pose and then into downward dog. Allowing both feet to come up towards the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time, arms come out to the side, and on your inhale, reverse swan dive up. Extended mountain. And exhale, hands down to heart center. Finding your mountain pose, feet are hip distance apart. Finding the four corners of your feet. Squeeze your inner thighs towards center, shoulders roll back and down your spine. All right, so we're going to find our dancer pose. Only go as far as you feel comfortable here. If you need to, you can always come by a wall for a little bit of balance. So let's shift the weight over to the left foot. Picking up the right foot, right knee comes forward. Activating the right foot, curl back the toes. And then from here, we're going to send the foot back behind us, knee down towards the earth. Right hand comes back. See if you can catch the inner arch of your right foot. Pointing the right knee down towards the earth. Keep the right foot active. Perhaps the left arm reaches up. Roll the left shoulder back and down your spine. Maybe you tip forward. Keep sending the right knee down. Maybe you extend the right foot up towards the sky. Keep sending the right knee down towards the earth. One more round of breath. Come on, back up, nice and slow, and then slowly releasing the right foot to the earth. Find your mountain pose. Okay, other side. Shifting your weight into your right foot. Left foot comes up off the earth. Find a place to focus on that isn't moving. And then sending the left foot back behind you, catching the inner arch of your left foot. Knee points down towards the earth. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Roll the shoulder back and down. Left foot stays active. Maybe you tip forward. Perhaps you send that left foot up towards the sky. Connecting to your breath. Either sending your breath where it needs to go or connecting to your intention. One more round of breath. And left foot comes down to the earth. Finding your mountain pose. Hey, we're almost there. All right. On your inhale, reaching up towards the sky, extended mountain. Exhale, flat back, swan diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins or thighs. And exhale, forward fold. All right, let's take big steps back here with both feet into a plank pose. So find your plank. Maybe it's knees on the earth. Maybe it's knees up off the earth. Draw the navel in. Push your body away from the earth. So we're going to practice our chaturanga arms here. So you're going to shift your weight forward a little bit. We'll all drop our knees to the earth. Tuck the elbows in by your sides. And then keep them by your sides as you slowly lower. All right, find your back bend of choice. Elbows tuck in by the sides. Slight micro bend in the elbows. Okay, coming all the way down to the earth. And let's come into tabletop, back into child's pose. Whenever you're ready, making your way back into your tabletop pose, and then find your plank. So we have one more pose still to go. So we're practicing something here. Keep the belly drawn in. Shift your weight forward. Tuck your elbows in by your sides. Maybe knees to the earth. And then slowly lower. Keep the elbows as close to you as you can. Once your hips come to the earth, release down. Find your back bend of choice. And then making your way into your tabletop pose. Curl your toes under downward dog. Okay, we're going to come into a squat. So a couple different ways to do it from here. Maybe you follow me, or maybe you just come into a forward fold and then you bring your feet about shoulder distance apart or further apart to come into squat. So we'll start. Right foot reaches up towards the sky. Shift your weight forward. Step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Left foot steps to the outside of the left hand. Toes point out towards the sides. Sitting down into your squat. So if you need to, feel free to use blocks underneath your hips. Bringing the floor up a little closer. So find length in your spine. Maybe hands come to heart center. And just find your breath. With every exhale, maybe you're able to sink and settle into this pose a little bit more. Finding 2 more rounds of breath. All right. So if you want, you can come along and play with us in crow. Maybe there's another pose that your body is asking for instead, or maybe you wish to take a bit of a rest here. So our crow pose, we want to make sure that our arms are like those chaturanga arms where the elbows tuck in. We're going to keep the elbows close to our body. So you're going to bring your knees up as high as you comfortably can, up along the backs of your arms. All right. So a lot of this is core work. We've been working a lot on core today. So perhaps you shift your weight forward. This is just how it's easier for me. Shift your weight forward. Keep those chaturanga arms. Come up onto the toes. Round the spine, pull the belly button up towards the sky. Imagine that string. Maybe you lift one foot, maybe the other. Oops. Looking out in front. Sometimes thinking about it makes it harder. Squeeze the inner thighs. Grip your fingers into the earth. Let's find 2 more rounds of breath here in this pose, wherever you are. And then making your way into a tabletop pose. We're going to do a little stretch here for the wrists. Okay, so be nice and gentle with your wrists here. Let's start with turning the palm up towards the sky, placing the top of the hand on the earth. Okay, so depending here, like try not to put any weight into that hand. Depending here, maybe you start to sit back a little bit, feeling a bit of a stretch along the front of the right wrist. All right, let's turn the hand so that palm's to the floor, but Fingers point back towards your knees. Maybe you stay here, maybe you lean back a little bit. Feel a stretch along the front of the right wrist, inside of the right wrist. Let's find that on the other side. Okay, so left palm faces up, top of the hand to the earth. Maybe you sit back. And then turning the hand so that the palm is to the earth, fingers point back towards the knees. Maybe you lean back. All right, let's come back to tabletop, and then we're going to come on to our backs. So for those of you who need to leave at 11 o'clock, it is 5 to 11 now. Today's class, as I mentioned, has changed to 75 minutes, but if you need to leave early, feel free to do so. All right, so on our backs, let's find a twist. Today's twist, let's bring our arms out to the sides. Maybe they're T-shaped cactus arms. And then we're going to bring our shins parallel to the ceiling. We'll start with palms face down to help anchor us to the earth, and then allowing the knees to drop over towards the right side. Turning both palms up towards the sky, maybe looking towards the left. Softening the shoulders. Softening your jaw. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Finding one more round of breath here. And then gently coming over onto your back once again. Reposition your back flat on the earth. We'll turn the palms down to help anchor us. And remember, if this twist doesn't feel good in your body, feel free to come into one that feels right for you. Perhaps bringing shins parallel to the ceiling and then dropping the knees over towards the left side. Turning the palms up, looking towards the right. Notice what's going on in your mind. Perhaps this is your opportunity to start to let go of any thoughts. And just focus on your intention or your breath. Finding one more round of breath here. Allow your knees to come back to center, repositioning your back flat on the earth. Okay, bringing feet about mat distance apart, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. All right, let's come into our banana pose and then Shavasana. So our banana pose, legs come nice and long, arms reach long behind you, shoulders to the earth. Kind of like we did with that pose whose name I can't remember. Reach nice and long. Send the backs of the thighs down towards the earth and then shifting your shoulders and head over towards the right side of your mat. Reaching the legs over towards the right side of the mat if that's comfortable. And then perhaps you find the left wrist to pull a little bit more, find a little more length. Maybe the left ankle crosses over the right, as long as both hips stay on the earth. And if it's a good place for you here, sink and settle. Slowing down your breath, taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Gently releasing the side, come back to center. Reaching nice and long. Backs of the thighs push down towards the earth, and then allowing your shoulders and head to come to the left side. Maybe feet to the left side. Find whichever variation feels good for you on this side, and then soften your body down towards the earth. Releasing tension in your jaw, in your forehead, your shoulders, and your hips. Once this side feels complete for you, coming back to center. Maybe there's something else you need to find in your body, or maybe you come right into Shavasana or any final resting pose lying on the earth. So again, our cards for today. Dance. Change is not possible without movement. and movement is everywhere in the universe. Join the dance. Use discernment. It's okay to question something that does not resonate for you. Personal truths vary according to different and changing perspectives. Patience. External conditions sometimes determine the best time to move forward. Work on something else until conditions change. Forgive and release. You are stronger for carrying love and forgiveness rather than anger. Keep the lessons learned without holding on to past hurts. And last, universal love. Love and kindness flow to you from all directions. Know you are worthy. Be open to receive. I invite you to take with you whatever resonated for you during this class, and then leave the rest behind. And gently bringing your awareness back into the room. Bringing some small movements into your body, maybe rocking your head from side to side, maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Allowing those small movements to become bigger movements. And I invite you to take a moment here to find gratitude. Gratitude for taking this time for yourself to take care of your body, your mind, and your heart. And in your own time, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently making your way up to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. As you inhale, inhaling love, compassion, and kindness. And as you exhale, perhaps sending that out to someone else in the world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may I contribute somehow to their happiness and freedom. Thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful day.